Hello my good friends, Roger once again. I did a post today, or a video, I'm sorry, about the collapse of physics, and I want to explain a little further because I'm getting a little pushback on it. But the Royal Institute of London has agreed that this physics is wrong. It's totally wrong because the Bohr model is wrong, and everything after that was built around the Bohr model. So the Bohr model is wrong, and I believe I have the correct model, and this is it right here. Let me put a little light on that. And this is what I believe to be the correct model, that all nucleuses are made of electrons. If that's an electron, these are dipoles, they're not just negatives. That's the basic building block of every single thing there is made out of those. Now, we call them protons, neutrons, so forth. It's just masses of little tiny particles. And when you have a bunch of them, and then you have an excessive a bunch of them that sit outside of the zone of stability, they keep all the extra electrons in their zones because they can't get in. There's just too many to accept them anymore. And then they reach a stable zone. And then sometimes some come in, some shoot out of there. It's called nuclear decay, excitation, that type of thing. So what is heat? Heat is no more than forcing more of these into the regions that these control. And they control huge regions. They don't want anybody else in there. So when you force them in, you're creating heat. When you pull them out, you're creating cold. And if you pull enough of them out, there's none left, you're at absolute zero, and you have literally no electrons left. You have basically nucleuses. And that's what a Bose-Einstein condensate is. It's basically nucleuses with a few little floaters going around it, and that's about it. And that's an absolute zero. There's just no, it's very, 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 it gets to a point where it's you're just pulling electrons, pulling them, there's none left. That's absolute zero electrons left. All right, so let's see what they have to say here. I cut out a couple little spots here. It was just, all of us are familiar with the electrons, a small companion of the atomic nucleus. And the nucleus is nothing more than made up of electrons in stable chunks called elements. All right, now, the atomic nucleus gives ordinary matter its weight, but the electron is responsible for the space that matter fills. For while it is small, the electron rules vast territories. You can't see the thing, and it literally owns huge, huge regions. I mean, just absolutely enormous. Now, the electron was first discovered thanks to the electric charge that it carries, and we discovered the electron whenever we happen to get an electric shock. It tries to get to Earth. It tries to go to where it wants to be taken in. Earth wants to take in electrons. We are sucking electrons out of the atmosphere. It has nothing to do with carbon dioxide or overheating the Earth. That is just a fallacy. We are going to suck those electrons in, and they are particles, and this is why we have such a problem, is because Einstein said there's no particles there, there's nothing there. Well, what does he think's there? Of course there's particles there. They're coming and they are hitting our ionosphere and charging our magnetosphere up around 56,000 degrees up there because they're rubbing against those as we scrub through the ether in space. And that's what I'm calling all these extra electrons is ether. And the ether is produced out of suns and every luminous body, and some of them are big and some of them are small, and I will show you that. Because here's what they found. They found it all, here's what they say. While the electron is unique in the role that it plays in ordinary matter, it is actually part of a trio. That's totally wrong as well. It is a part of bazillion other particles. The electron's partners, called the muon and the tau, have the same electric charge, so they're both what they consider to be negative, and they seem to share its other properties as well, which is they're dipoles is what they really are. All its properties, that is, except one, their mass. It's very different. The muon's heavier electron by a factor of 200, so it's 200 tiny little electrons added together, and then they come up with a particle there, which should not exist, according to what they say. And the tau is heavier by a whopping factor of 3,500. So these are 3 particles, and then they say there's 12 total particles. They just totally lost on this. I mean, absolutely have no idea whatsoever. And then they found another particle, and they said, oh, well, now we got real problems, and they got all upset. He says the appearance of a new particle came as a surprise and not an entirely welcome one. This guy so-and-so said at the time, who ordered this? And that's what they do now. So, I don't want to talk about it. Throw it away. So, throw those papers away. Get rid of it. Stop it. Don't say. Go in the woods. All right. No, here's what it is. No, here we go. Here. As far as we know, the electron, muon, and tau are the fundamental particles. Well, no, they're not. The electrons are fundamental particles. And unlike molecules or atoms, they cannot be broken down into smaller components. And I say even the electron now is a suspect of being broken down, because I have pictures of it. This is not the first time that we have found the fundamental building blocks of nature, and in the past we have often been wrong, as we are now. Hello, my friends. Incredible, incredible, incredible day at Mudfossil University. The Royal Institution of London has endorsed the fact that their theories are wrong and are looking for other theories, and our theories are correct and have been, and now they will be able to be seen because they admit they're wrong. In the past, they just ignored. So this is light. This is light accelerated. That is a particle. Light can accelerate. Light is a particle. It can turn into plasma in an orifice that is a venturi. It's exactly like water, identical to liquid. It comes out of there, turns into the Higgs fields, exactly what CERN talks about. We have a new particle. I have no idea what that is. This really is very interesting, because everything else fits exactly 100%. But this was a reverse particle, and that could be like antimatter or something. You know,